Incredible secrets are hidden deep within the earth. When we look at ancient structures, we see not just old stones, but mysteries that modern science cannot yet explain. It is known that in the past, there were civilizations that possessed technologies that remain inaccessible to modern progress due to their complexity. These are not myths and legends, but real artifacts that alternative researchers consider to be tangible evidence of the existence of lost technologies. Looking at these mysterious structures, huge walls that seem incredible for their time, we see that they stand out from other structures. People built cities and temples, but these objects have a special status. We are talking about gigantic monolithic structures built from stones weighing tens or even hundreds of tons. The most amazing thing is that these huge walls made of huge blocks are assembled without the use of any mortar, and the blocks fit so tightly together that even a thin blade cannot fit between them. The main mystery is how they managed to extract, lift, and fit such huge stones without the use of modern machinery. The most unusual element among these walls is an opening resembling a door. However, it leads nowhere. It is perfectly smooth and polished, but behind it lies only monolithic stone. Why spend so much effort creating a flawless entrance that is a dead end? Such architecture is atypical. This suggests that these openings were intended for some technical purpose, perhaps to house lost devices. This is the mystery of the ancients. Their skills are beyond our understanding of their development. If they themselves could not have done this, then how was it done? Perhaps unknown forces were involved in the construction, passing on these technologies to them, or perhaps this is the legacy of an even more ancient, highly developed civilization. These stone structures are not just random ruins. They are an encrypted message left to us by those who possessed this knowledge and disappeared without a trace. These mysteries may hold the key to lost technologies that allow us to control energy, weightlessness, and build super-strong structures. Our research continues in the most mysterious corners of our planet. Our journey in search of lost technologies begins in Peru, in the Andes Mountains. These are not just picturesque peaks. Here, at altitudes where the spirit of antiquity seems palpable, stand ruins that redefine our understanding of the past. We admire structures that, according to the official version, were created by people with primitive tools. However, what we see with our own eyes testifies to a completely different level of craftsmanship. In the vicinity of the city of Cusco, an amazing phenomenon known as polygonal masonry awaits us. Imagine a wall built of hundreds of stones, each of which has a unique, asymmetrical shape. However, the stones are so precisely fitted together that even with modern laser equipment, we would hardly be able to repeat such work. This is no ordinary masonry. It is like a three-dimensional puzzle assembled with incredible precision. The entire structure gives the impression that it was created not by human hands, but by supernatural forces. A striking example of such craftsmanship is SACSAYHUAMÁN. Here, huge walls have been erected from enormous stone blocks. Some limestone blocks weigh more than 100 tons. The blocks are not simply laid, but seem to be fused together, forming a single whole without any gaps. Some of them are several meters thick. It is a mysterious structure that bears the mark of incredible power. How could the ancient Incas, without iron, extract and lift such colossal stones to such heights? Explanations involving rolling the stones on logs seem implausible, given their weight and the required millimeter precision. There was obviously a lost technology that made it possible to process stone with a level of precision that is unattainable for us today. Traces on the blocks indicate that they were not carved with a chisel, but were processed with some kind of high-precision tool. In Cusco itself, in one of the inner courtyards, you can see the famous 12 cornerstone. This block fits perfectly into the surrounding 11 other stones, and each of its corners is processed with remarkable mathematical precision. Manual fitting of this kind, even with the use of modern equipment, would be an extremely difficult task. In Ollantaytambo, where a more durable material, pink porphyry, was used, the mystery becomes even more acute. Here, traces resembling the work of a giant milling cutter or saw have been found. Such smooth, flat cuts on hard stone could not have been made with primitive copper or stone tools. This is a strong argument in favor of the idea that ancient civilizations possessed technology that allowed them to temporarily alter the structure of stone. Some researchers believe that the secret of the ancient craftsmen lies in an acoustic method. Perhaps they used powerful directed sound or infrasound waves that excited resonance in the crystal lattice of the stone. Thanks to this vibration, the stone could temporarily become plastic, making it malleable for cutting and polishing. When the vibration stopped, the material returned to its original solid state. This theory explains both the ideal precision of the workmanship and the absence of traces of traditional tools. The mysteries of the ancients in the Andes extend far beyond stone processing. Another unresolved question is logistics. The quarries from which these giant blocks were extracted were often located kilometers away from the construction sites, and the route to them passed through deep gorges and mountain rivers. At Ollantaytambo, the porphyry blocks were extracted from a quarry on the opposite bank of the Urubamba River. Moving these multi-ton stones across the river and then up to the mountain terraces is a task that seems impossible without bridges and modern technology. While following this route, researchers stumbled upon giant, unnaturally smooth fractures in the rocks. Perhaps these fractures were created to facilitate the transport of stones, or, more intriguingly, were traces of the use of powerful energy tools that literally cut through the mountain. These traces differ from normal geological processes. Their shape resembles a high-precision cut, which again points to the intervention of unknown forces or the existence of lost technologies capable of cutting through the mountain range. In SACSAYHUAMÁN, among the huge walls built of large stone blocks, there are stones with melted, almost glassy edges woven into the overall masonry. This feature contradicts the assumption of purely manual labor. It seems that the builders could have used high temperatures to modify the properties of the stone or to fix it securely in the masonry. These insignificant but important details indicate that we are dealing with a structure with secrets, created using methods that are inaccessible to us. Inside the monumental walls of Cusco lies a most unusual and fascinating phenomenon, an opening resembling a door. This opening, created in a single massive masonry, reaches a height of about 6 meters and a width of about 3. Its edges are perfectly straight, and the inner surface is perfectly smooth and polished. The difficulty lies in the fact that this opening leads nowhere. It simply ends in a solid stone, forming the base of the wall. It is not an entrance to a building or a tomb. Creating such a perfectly even and geometrically correct element required enormous effort and remarkable precision. Why put so much effort into creating a false entrance? This is a mystery of the ancients, embodied in its purest and most mysterious form. Scientists suggest that this opening may have been part of a technical complex. It was probably intended for the installation of some kind of device that could interact with the energy flowing through the wall. In this case, the giant wall, built of huge blocks, would have been not only a defensive structure, but also a functional element. In addition, this opening is oriented not only horizontally, but also vertically, which may indicate a connection with astronomical phenomena and point to the exact moments for activating the system. There is also a more radical hypothesis: the influence or indirect intervention of a more developed mind, or an evolutionary link unknown to us. If humans do not have the ability to build this door, then who could have done it? The ideal, striking precision of these openings rules out the possibility of human error and indicates that they were created using lost technology that allowed the material to be processed with incredible filigree precision. This locked opening, this hidden structure, may indicate that ancient civilizations received help from outside, or that they inherited these structures from previous, non-human inhabitants of Earth who left their mark before disappearing. If such highly developed civilizations once really existed, then traces of their activities should have been preserved not only in the Andes. They should have been spread throughout the world, even in the most inaccessible corners. And when we begin to look at the planet from a new perspective, we discover facts that do not fit into the framework of official history. Antarctica is one such place. It is a continent completely covered with ice, and at first glance, it seems that there is no possibility for ancient secret structures to exist there. However, data obtained using ground-penetrating radar and satellite images suggest otherwise. Deep beneath the multi-kilometer ice sheet, instruments have detected objects resembling perfectly regular geometric structures that could not have been created naturally. Satellite images have revealed huge, flat formations stretching for tens of kilometers beneath East Antarctica. Some researchers interpret the radar anomalies as artificial barriers with unusually straight lines and sharp angles. Scientists analyzing this data have not yet been able to find a natural explanation for it. This suggests that these massive walls, made of large blocks, albeit buried under ice, are the ruins of a gigantic infrastructure. Perhaps they were built at a time when Antarctica was ice-free and was a habitable continent with a temperate climate. Paleoclimatology data indicate that millions of years ago, forests grew here. The scale of this mega-engineering project poses new puzzles for historians. The construction of walls of such length and thickness requires technologies capable of controlling the volume and mass of material on a planetary scale. Such capabilities are beyond even modern construction achievements. If this civilization existed for such a long time, its technology must have reached an incredible level of development, perhaps even involving unknown forces that provided them with the tools to carry out such grandiose projects. Let's travel from the icy desert to ancient fortresses located throughout Europe. There we will find another piece of evidence of lost technologies, but this time not related to precision, but to extreme temperatures. In Scotland, Ireland, and France, ancient fortifications have been preserved, whose walls are built of stones that have literally grown together. This phenomenon is known as vitrification. The stone is heated to temperatures exceeding 1000 degrees Celsius, causing it to partially melt and turn into a glassy, glass-like mass. According to the traditional version, this is the result of fires when conquerors burned wooden superstructures. However, physical analysis shows that such uniform and deep melting of massive masonry requires a heat source that far exceeds the capabilities of a normal fire. Due to low thermal conductivity, especially in basalt or granite, stable, directed, and extremely powerful heat is required to achieve vitrification in their thickness. This suggests that melting was an integral part of the construction process itself, or a consequence of the use of lost technologies. Perhaps the ancient craftsmen not only built, but also reinforced their majestic walls with a directed energy beam. They could have used plasma or beam-focusing technologies that were not used for destruction, but for reinforcement, turning stone into an ultra-strong monolith capable of withstanding enormous loads. These traces of impact are reminiscent of the work not just of fire, but of a high-tech tool that left an indelible mark of its presence on the stone. Thus, we see two extreme examples of lost technologies: surgical precision in the Andes and the ability to control extreme temperatures in European fortresses. Both of these examples testify to one thing: ancient civilizations possessed incredible knowledge in the fields of physics and engineering that has now been lost. And each of these mysteries brings us closer to understanding what really happened on Earth long before the formation of our official historical chronicle. If ancient builders could move 100-ton blocks and melt stone, what was their goal? This is the main mystery of the ancients. They put enormous effort into building structures that were apparently intended for defense or served as tombs. At the same time, their perfect form and location hint at a larger goal related to understanding the laws of nature. Take the Egyptian pyramids, for example. The main thing is not their construction, but the striking accuracy of their geometric parameters. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not just a mass of stones, but a true marvel of geodesy. Its base is perfectly flat, with an error of only a few centimeters. The sides of the pyramid practically coincide with the cardinal directions, with a deviation of less than 1/10 of a degree. Such a level of accuracy testifies not only to profound astronomical knowledge, but also to the sophisticated instruments necessary to level such a huge area. Such amazing accuracy is no accident. It shows that these civilizations had exceptional knowledge of the movement of the stars and the movement of the planet itself. Their secret structures are often oriented toward important celestial phenomena, the sunrise on the equinoxes, or the position of specific constellations. It is like a grandiose plan built of stone, aimed at connecting with the cosmos, but probably having a practical, possibly energetic purpose. Some researchers believe that the ideal geometry of the pyramids had a technological purpose. Perhaps the pyramids served not only as tombs, but also as huge machines capable of interacting with natural forces. The specific shape, orientation, and material from which they were built may have been chosen to collect, focus, or transmit a certain type of energy, potentially in a wireless manner. The complex system of hollow chambers and narrow shafts that make up the internal structure of the pyramid resembles a structure tuned to resonate with the earth or electromagnetic fields. In light of these perfect openings, the mystery of the ancients ceases to be shrouded in mysticism and becomes a question of pure applied physics. Returning to the huge walls built of massive stone blocks in Peru, it is worth noting that, in addition to the perfect polygonal masonry, some blocks are decorated with strange protrusions or recesses that do not play a role in holding the stones together. They resemble mounting points, as if something had once been installed in them and then removed. These elements may hold the key to solving the mystery. They resemble traces of mountings for lost devices. If the giant wall was once part of some system, these protrusions could have been used to connect long-lost components. The stone itself is just a shell, and the complex interior has been removed or destroyed by time. This circumstance convincingly indicates that these objects had a specific functional purpose. Perhaps the recesses were intended for the installation of resonators made of quartz or other crystalline materials necessary for working with vibrations or electromagnetic fields. The high precision with which these seats are carved into solid stone indicates that these are extremely sensitive devices requiring flawless fixation of components. Such precision logically links the mystery of the ancients with their potential technological purpose. The credibility of the hypothesis about the technological purpose of ancient secret structures increases when we consider the materials used in their construction. Many civilizations showed a particular interest in quartz or quartzite, which were often used for cladding and interior decoration. Quartz is known to have piezoelectric properties. When mechanically compressed, it produces an electric charge, and when exposed to an electric current, it vibrates. If the giant walls were intended to work with low-frequency vibrations of the Earth, then the quartz elements could function as resonators or energy converters. Presumably, the stone connectors mentioned earlier were used to install large quartz crystals that could be activated by both natural geophysical phenomena and the influence of unknown forces. In addition, many significant monuments, such as the pyramids and temple complexes of Peru, are located near powerful water sources or have complex water systems. Water, being an excellent conductor and an element that easily changes its state of aggregation, could have played a key role in this lost technology. Perhaps ancient civilizations used the energy of currents or hydroacoustics to transmit signals or create the vibrational field necessary to manipulate huge stone blocks. Secret structures, such as the door-like opening in Cusco, could have been used as tuning points or indicators that activated when the entire system reached resonance. They could have been tuned to a specific frequency generated by the entire complex. This possibility shifts the mystery of the ancients from the realm of archaeology to that of physics and engineering, making it more complex. These are not just walls and doors, but traces of an ancient global energy network that was shut down as a result of a catastrophe. Let's recall once again the door-like opening in Cusco. It is a perfectly flat, dead-end niche. If it is not intended for humans, then perhaps it serves as a portal or point of contact for beings unlike us. Perfect geometry may be necessary to tune into certain frequencies or waves. Perhaps this secret structure was created to interact with what we call invisible forces. Consequently, all signs of high-tech processing and perfect geometry lead us to the hypothesis of intervention, not necessarily extraterrestrial, but perhaps some evolutionary stage or force unknown to us. If these openings were created as part of a large-scale project, then perhaps the forces behind these technologies took their tools away with them. The perfect precision of these structures directly indicates that they were created by a non-human civilization or technology far superior to our own. After completing its task or leaving Earth, this secret structure was closed, leaving us only a stone monument to its power. We have gathered a lot of evidence, incredibly precise, massive walls made of huge blocks erected in Peru, traces of smelting and high temperatures in European fortresses, mysterious openings resembling doors leading into the unknown. All these facts testify to the existence of civilizations before us that possessed technologies that allowed them to control mass, energy, and space. Despite such a high level of technological development, the most important question remains unanswered. What caused their disappearance, and why was this knowledge lost? If they possessed such power, what could have led to their destruction? There are two main assumptions, and both are terrifying. The first is a planetary catastrophe. This could be a sudden change in climate, a shift in the poles, or the impact of a large asteroid. An event of this kind could destroy even the most advanced civilizations, leaving behind only the largest stone structures as silent monuments. The giant ice walls under Antarctica may be the remains of just such a catastrophe, frozen in ice. Myths and legends about great floods and fiery rains, common in various cultures, may testify to the collective memory of a global cataclysm that led to the destruction of civilization. Second, self-destruction. Their incredible technological progress could have been the cause of their demise. The uncontrolled use of energy sources or powerful technologies unknown to us could have provoked a global conflict that would have destroyed their civilization. The presence of traces of vitrification, melting of stone, leads supporters of these hypotheses to believe that the conflict that ended in catastrophe could have been caused by the use of powerful energy devices. It is likely that the mysterious intervention of unknown forces which provided humanity with these technologies could also have been the cause of the war, or could have ended with their departure, taking their knowledge with them and leaving humanity alone with the ruins. Today, scientists, engineers, and researchers view these ruins not as tourist attractions, but as textbooks. Every straight line, every trace of melting, every mysterious protrusion on a stone is a valuable clue. We are not looking for gold or artifacts. We are looking for the physical laws that help them achieve this. To unravel these mysteries, researchers are using laser scanning to create three-dimensional models of the masonry in order to reveal the mathematical patterns underlying it. They are conducting acoustic tests near the mysterious structures in an effort to detect resonant frequencies. The main task is to uncover the applied physical principles that underlay their methods of working with energy and materials in order to apply them in modern technologies. Thus, the mystery of the ancients is not limited to the framework of history. It represents a potential path for our future development. Understanding how they interacted with georesonance and other physical fields could radically change our lives. It could open up new, clean energy sources and revolutionary construction methods that seem impossible to us today. Polygonal masonry and doors to nowhere are a common language of technology. Until we decipher this technological code, we risk never knowing the reasons for the fall of civilizations that reached their peak and then disappeared. These ruins are not just dead stones, but a message that holds life within it. It is a mystery waiting to be solved. And until we figure out this mystery, we will repeat the fate of those who disappeared. The answer lies in precision, geometry, and the search for traces of the intervention of a mysterious force that brought and took away the lost technologies of the vanished great civilizations.